Hi everyone. So this is going to be your, I'm just going to quickly show you how to work up your collage into a sketch and a paint study. So this is my collage. I made this in class, which that demo video is posted on Blackboard. Now this is just a quick example. I think it could be a lot more interesting by adding more pieces here to kind of complement these shapes here. So like more medium-sized pieces here. But as you see, I have a foreground, I have a middle ground, and I have a background. And I have different size objects throughout, right? Now, I also have lots of different colors and different values. And then down here is a pattern and another pattern here that would be a nice thing to create visual texture with, which I'll show you in the next video. But basically what you're going to do once you make your collage is you're going to make a sketch of it. So I started to make a sketch of my collage by looking at it, and I was just shading in where there are certain colors. And as you can see, I want to signify that there's like some pattern here. So I'm doing it like this. And you can do that with value by like doing some areas shaded in and other areas not. And as much as this can be a rough sketch, like as in, you know, mine is kind of messy, that's fine. However, I do want you to develop it as much as possible, meaning I want you to really go in and draw in all the sections to the best of your ability. Now, the proportions might be a little wonky because it's kind of hard to kind of translate it. That's fine, but I just want you to signify where different parts change. Maybe where the value change, like you see, I'm shading this area in because this is the dark area, kind of like a bird shape. Now, if I wanted, I could develop that more into a bird so that that looks more like a figure in my painting. And that's totally fine. Again, this is supposed to be conceptually interesting, meaning like the ideas behind it can be really kind of dramatic, but also, you know, kind of, it doesn't have to be a clear story. And so I'm drawing in the different parts of my sky, like here. Again, just kind of trying to organize where everything goes. So I'm going to continue to do this until the whole thing is blocked in. I would do my, as you can see, kind of having some blocks there. Then this is my darker area, as you can see here. So I'm translating that here and here. Okay, so now I'm going to keep drawing this until it's complete. Now my collage is a little bit bigger, so my drawing's a little bit bigger, but you can make your collage like half the size of this. It doesn't have to be this big. It could be a lot smaller. I just tend to work big, so my examples tend to be big. So I'll continue to work on this, and then I would ask that you make your complete drawing, and then you take a picture of this drawing of your collage, and then the next step that you're going to do is you're going to do a painting study. The painting study isn't going to have as many of these lines. Like right now, this looks like I'm drawing a collage. The painting study is going to collapse these borders, and you're just going to focus on the change in value and shifting colors. So as you can see, I already started actually drawing it in with the brown, but I toned my whole page a pale blue. Okay, I was kind of just like focusing on a lighter blue from here. So I put that across the whole page. And then So this is my palette. I have a few, I'm using both of my yellows, and I'm gonna water down my paint a little bit. So this can be a little washier, which is fine for a study. Um, and I have my sponge here, so I can dry off my brush. So when you're creating your paint study, you can think about it as a loose drawing, but you really want to focus on kind of adding the colors, even though the colors will be washy. So I'm putting in the big pink orb here. So I'm filling in the darker areas. You can see I'm watering down my paint a little bit, just kind of blocking that in. Okay. Now you can see mine isn't totally to scale. Mine's a little wonky. I'm doing it quick. But that's okay. Again, this is just as a guide for inspiration. If I wanted you to have it exact, I would have asked you to put a grid, but I find that not to be the skill that we want to work on. The skill that we want to work on is translating, using our knowledge of like value and color and shape, but then using photo references as a guide to kind of inspire some interesting paintings. So before you just go all out and use your imagination, this is a nice way to kind of buffer you between that. So as I paint, I can start to see some things are getting bigger, some things are smaller. So I'm going to go back in with a smaller brush and block in those areas, but before I do all that, I want to put in the foreground. Okay, and I would just keep doing this until I feel like I got most of that painting in. Don't worry about the details as much in the study as with the drawing. So I kind of mess up, and that's okay because this is my paint study. I want to go back in, bring the pink orb down a little bit, and I'm going to continue to work on my figure. But this is why the paint study is important, because it helps you kind of figure out where to place things. Um, and so hopefully this will be helpful when you start to make the larger painting. So as you can see, the things that I would want to add, I'm going to continue to flesh out the figure, but I'm also going to go in and I'm going to add more information for my down here for this foreground part. So I block in clearly the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. Hopefully this is helpful. It doesn't confuse you too much. And I will be happy to answer any questions you have over email.